Hey guys, I'm Maddie.
What's up guys, I'm Chase.
And today we're going to be talking to you about applying to medical school as a couple.
Let's get to it. So before we get started, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. And drop a comment down below about your experience applying to med school, or if there's any videos that you want to see in a later date that we'll try to make.
Not to be a bearer of bad news, but we do know people who applied to medical school as a couple and either didn't get accepted into the same program or did not. One of them did not get accepted at all. So this is a reality for some people, thankfully not for us, and we don't want it to be a reality for you. So stay tuned in this video and hopefully we can help you avoid this.
Yeah, and so I don't know if you've ever heard of what a couples match is, but when you're applying to med school, there is no such thing as a couples match. There's nowhere on the application for you to say that you have a significant other that's also applying. But wait, and when you're in med school and you're applying to residency, there is a whole slew of programs for you to say who your significant other is, and it guarantees that you are going to be together. So if you can wait out another 4 years, you'll be set.
Our number one tip for getting into medical school together as a couple is to just both of you be the best applicants you can be. We know that this sounds cliche, but it is so true. Honestly, I don't think that Chase and I were the best applicants that we could have been, and that was a large stressor for us. So just from the beginning, making sure that you guys are both just making sure that you're achieving everything that you need to achieve, being your best. We both push each other to be the best, so that's good.
We're both overachievers, so it helps when we have someone on our back pushing us to be better.
Yeah.
And then one thing that we were worried about was that we were going to look too similar on an application. And in the end, looking back, we really weren't that similar.
No, from the beginning it was a valid concern. We're from the same hometown of 1,400 people. We went to the same high school, went to the same undergrad. A lot of our clubs were the same just because our pre-med program at undergrad was really small, so we were in the same clubs, we were on the same exec committees, so we were scared that we were going to look the same.
Yeah, but now looking back, I don't think that matters too much, because if you get accepted to one program, it's because of how you look. And if you do look similar, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because hopefully they'll if they liked person A for what they did and person B looks the same, they're going to hopefully like person B. So,
yeah, and invite you both to an interview at the very least, because just because you interview there doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be accepted. And then just because they accept you doesn't mean that you were both, had you not known each other, doesn't mean that you're both going to accept that acceptance. So in their eyes, they can't really tell, especially if they don't know that you're together. So that's kind of a positive.
Yeah, and then when you are applying to all of your different programs, make sure that you apply to every single program that the other person did. Don't apply to a program out in Florida if your spouse or significant other didn't apply to Florida. That makes no sense.
Yeah, you don't want to be in that situation where one of you gets accepted somewhere or an interview somewhere and the other one didn't even get the chance because they just chose not to apply.
Yeah, and then if someone does get an interview and the other person doesn't, still go to that interview, because you could end up getting they could end up getting an interview at a later date, which that happened to us. We didn't get interviews on the same day.
We got one time. We got an interview. It was our first one, which was super exciting.
Yeah. Out of the 10 interviews that we went to, only one of them were at the same time, same date, same place.
Yeah.
So it was throughout the entire application season where we went to those same programs.
Yeah. Like we said earlier, nowhere on the application does it necessarily allow you to express that you're wanting to go to medical school with your significant other. Additionally, we were not engaged at the time of application, so don't think that we were engaged and that helped us in any way, because we weren't. Additionally though, if you guys, we didn't get this chance because we were from different cities, but if you guys are from different cities, different towns, and on the secondary application, it's going to ask you what ties you have to that program. So say your significant other is from that town that medical school is in, say that. Say, I've been dating this person for X number of years, I've been to St. Louis a bunch of times, I love this city, I've seen the medical school, this is my significant other's favorite school, it's my favorite school. and just really explain those ties, because I do think that
Yeah.
would have a positive impact on your application.
Yeah, in the secondary application where this is they do look at that heavily. Like, they're not going to accept somebody who has no ties to that region. So that is a place for you to show interest, and it will give you a leg up.
Yeah. So moving on to the next step, I had been accepted at probably our second favorite school, and then Chase got a letter back saying that he was waitlisted.
Yeah.
So we were very nervous about this. This was the closest that we had been. Either neither one of us had any overlap at all at this point. And so Chase ended up writing a letter to the admissions committee telling them that I had been accepted, that we'd been together for 5 years. Little did I know he was preparing to propose, but he couldn't say that because I was reading over his letter to make sure it was grammatically correct. But he ended up getting accepted like a month later, so they didn't respond, but we do think that played an impact on his acceptance for sure.
I do think that if we were engaged, that letter would have more weight, but in the end, I was accepted to the program, and I think that the letter did help. I don't think that it hurt me by any means.
No, not at all.
So, but you got to play your cards carefully. I said that this program at the time was my favorite program, and I was really trying to play into their hands, and I think it worked. But we ended up getting accepted to our #1 school like 2 weeks after I submitted that letter, but before I heard back from the letter. But we ended up going to our #1 school, so it didn't matter in the end.
Basically, once we got accepted to that program, we withdrew applications from everywhere else and just were happy with it.
Super happy.
So we hope this helped. We know how anxiety-inducing it can be applying as a couple and trying getting into the same program, but hopefully you got something out of this video.
Yeah, so if you have any other questions or any other video requests, drop those down in the comment section below and we will try to get to them. But other than that, thanks for watching and good luck.